Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's cold. Hope you're all doing well. If you have a strap this morning or a scarf, feel free to pop that next to your mat for one of the poses. Otherwise, you can just hold the back of the leg, so don't worry if you don't have any props. And you're welcome to start either in a seated position or to lie down this morning. If you're sitting, nice, tall, straight spine. If you're lying down, just make sure that you're warm and have any props you might need to be comfortable. So just taking these first few moments to arrive and just to become aware of what you have brought with you to the mat this morning. So take note of what's going on inside of you. You might like to close the eyes, just turning your attention within and being aware of what's going on in the body, the mind, your heart. What has your breathing been like this morning? And how does the energetic layer of you feel this morning? I thought we might begin with a short little breathing practice. So you just making sure that that spine is nice and upright, or if you're lying down, that you're lying in a straight line. The eyes closed or just with a soft downward glance. Softening the shoulders, softening the skin of the face. Just make sure that you're not clenching the teeth together. And then with each inhalation, I invite you to imagine that you're smelling, that you're breathing in the fragrance of your favorite flower. So breathing in the fragrance of your favorite flower. And then we're going to blow the breath out through the mouth as though there's a candle just in front of us. We don't want to blow the flame out. So it's a very slow little O shape with the mouth, blowing the breath out through the mouth, not disturbing that candle flame too much. So with each inhalation, we're imagining breathing in the smell of our favorite flower. And then as we exhale, we're making a little O shape with the mouth. There's an imaginary candle in front of us, but we're not blowing out that candle flame. So let's just work with this for another minute or two. It's a wonderful little practice to remember. I was actually in a waiting room yesterday to see a gut specialist, a little bit worried, and I worked with this practice for about 10 minutes, and it was quite amazing how different I felt when I walked into the person's room. So smelling the most wonderful flower, filling your whole being with this fragrance, with this scent that you love so much. And then blowing the breath out through the mouth. I'd love to know later on what your favorite flower is. A few more breaths in this way. And after your next exhalation, just release the practice and notice how you feel. I'd like to begin this morning by sharing a poem with you. Many of you will know this, but it's such a beautiful poem by Mary Oliver called I Worried. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it. And I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. Over the weekend, I listened to a great talk by Tara Brach and Dr. Judson Brewer, a psychiatrist who's just written a book called Unwinding Anxiety. And they were talking about the proliferation of worry in our world at the moment. And we're talking about that worry is a cardinal feature, a pivotal feature of anxiety. Judson was talking about the difference between fear and anxiety, and he said that fear is a very helpful survival mechanism, encouraging us to ask the question, am I in danger right now, in this moment? But he said anxiety does not help us at all and is actually detrimental to our physical and mental health. He defined anxiety as the feeling of nervousness or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. And he linked it to being something in the future. So whereas fear is present moment, anxiety is more about anticipatory concerns about something that might happen down the track. Judson also said that anxiety can become a habit and that worrying can actually produce more anxiety. And he explained how worry works by suggesting that we start to feel a bit anxious and then the brain says, well, why don't you start worrying? Because that feels better than doing nothing. So we get into this vicious loop or cycle. In yoga, as we know, one of the most powerful tools we have to work with for addressing anxiety and worry are our breathing practices. And not just the formal pranayama practices, but keeping closely connected to our breath throughout our asana practice so that the whole of our 75-minute yoga session can be a meditation on the breath. Every posture, every movement. So we're going to work now with another breathing practice, the full yoga breath. And we're going to break this into 3 parts. And then we're going to incorporate the healing mantra Om, breaking that into 3 syllables as well. So feel free to stay seated or to stay lying down or change your position if you prefer. And let's all rest the hands now over the belly. The first part of the full yoga breath is to direct the breath right down into the bottom lobes of the lungs. Try to keep the shoulders and the face free of tension. As you start to breathe deeply now and perhaps feeling the hands move outward a little bit as the belly expands. Don't force this though. And on the exhalation, the belly draws back in towards the spine. So breathing in, take the breath right down into the lower lobes of the lungs. And exhale, emptying from the bottom lobes of the lungs. So a few more breaths in this way. Good. Now, after your next exhalation, we're going to move to the second part of our full yoga breath, breathing into the side rib cage area. So you can actually cup the side ribs, but just try to relax the arms and shoulders as much as you can. And now we're just trying to concentrate the breath into this mid rib cage area. So not going right down into the bottom area of the lungs. It's more a feeling of, as you inhale, the breath expanding out towards the side. So the ribs expanding outward to press into your palms. And then on the exhalation, just softening back in towards the center. So a few breaths here. Really slowing the breath down. So this can help us move back into the parasympathetic nervous system state, whereas anxiety, fear, worry is really more connected with the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight part of us, which a lot of us live in the majority of the time. That switched on part of the nervous system, always anticipating, looking out for things that might scare us or frighten us, keep us small. So this full yoga breath can help us relax, let go a little bit, and rest and repair parasympathetic nervous system. All right, after the next exhalation, we'll move the hands to the third part of the full yoga breath, just under the collarbone, so the upper chest. So we're just breathing lightly, not too deeply now. A few breaths here. Good. And then after your next exhalation, just release the arms down by your side. So we'll try putting those three parts together now. So we'll be breathing down into the belly, then the mid-rib cage area, lastly the upper chest. And then as we exhale, we'll empty from the belly, mid-rib cage, upper chest. So let's see how we go. So let's exhale all breath to begin. And then breathing in to the belly, mid-rib cage, upper chest. Exhaling from the belly, mid-rib cage, upper chest. Inhaling like a wave in the ocean, belly, mid-rib cage, upper chest. Exhale, emptying from the belly, mid-rib cage, upper chest. Let's try 3 more in your own time. Good. And then I'm going to just come back to meet you on my mat, and we'll work with the mantra Om. So whether you're lying down or still seated, have your arms out to the side. So we're combining this with the full yoga breath. We're going to do 5 of them, and we're going to be chanting Ah, Ooh, The Ah sound is in the belly, Ooh in the mid-rib cage area, is in the upper chest and perhaps the head. So let's exhale all breath. And then breathing in, raising the arms overhead, chant down. Oh. So 4 more. Inhale. Oh. Let's keep going. Oh. Oh. Last one. Oh. Take a resting breath. And then if you're in a seated position, we're going to come to lie down. And we're going to bring the knees into the chest and just start off by rocking from side to side. Good. All right, let's come back to center. Just drop the feet down and have your feet mat width apart. A little bit wider than normal. So feet are mat width apart. Arms are out to shoulder height. Palms up or down, whatever it feels best for your shoulders. Head, neck and spine in a straight line. Press the lower back down, tucking the chin forward. So we're going to work with some gentle flowing twists. So we'll take a nice full deep yoga breath in. And as we exhale, we're lowering the knees over to the right side. So your knees are quite wide apart here. Try to keep that left shoulder down. Head may turn to the left. And then we'll breathe ourselves back to center. And lower the knees over to the left side. Head may turn to the right. Inhale, center. And knees to the right. Breathing in. And knees to the left. Good. Do 1 more to each side, nice and slowly. And then we'll come back to center. Now you can keep the feet as they are, or if you'd like to now bring the feet together, but the feet are still on the mat. Press the lower back down and we continue. So again, another full yoga breath in. And knees over to the right side. So try to keep the knees together. Just watch that left shoulder, what happens. Breathe yourself back to center. Knees to the left, head may turn to the right. Good, so 2 more to each side. Nice and slowly. Stay with your breath. Aware of every breath this morning. Keep returning to the breath again and again. Now coming back to center. So our third round, either repeating what we've just done or feet are still mat width apart, or now we're bringing the feet into the air. So a stronger twist. Inhale. And knees over to the right side. Again, head may turn to the left. Breathe yourself back to center. Knees to the left, head may turn to the right. Good, 2 more to each side. Make sure you're not tensing the face. Perhaps a gentle smile on your lips. And when you finish, you come back to center, no hurry. And when you do, wrap your arms around your knees. Give yourselves a lovely hug, perhaps even lifting your head up towards your knees. All right, so we're going to work with a little flowing sequence now, keeping the knees in towards the chest. And on the last, so the third exhalation, if you'd like to join with me, we'll be chanting ah, ooh, and we'll do 5 of these. So let's exhale all breath. As we breathe in, legs go to the sky, arms overhead or out to the side. Exhale, draw the knees in, give yourselves a hug, head may lift to the knees. Then we drop the feet to the mat, hip width apart, palms by your hips, and lift into bridge. And exhale, lower. Now keep the back as it is. Inhale, both arms up overhead. And we're going to chant the arms down. Knees come into the chest. So that's 1 round. So inhale, legs to the sky, arms to the side or overhead. Exhale, draw in, head may lift the knees. Drop your feet to the mat, palms alongside your hips. Inhale, lift your hips. And exhale, roll down. Keep the back as it is. Breathe your arms overhead. A nice full yoga breath, filling the lungs completely. Knees into the chest. 3 more. Inhale, legs to the sky. Exhale. Drop the feet, drop the hands, lifting into bridge. And lower. Inhale, arms flow overhead. Inhale, legs to the sky. Exhale. Feet, palms to the mat. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale. Breathe your arms overhead. Last one, legs to the sky. Exhale. Lifting into bridge. And lower. Raising the arms. Take a resting breath. And then stretch the legs away. A little bit of work now for our hips and our legs, lower legs. So we're going to work with the one-legged frog, the arms. It's good if they can be just a little way away from the body. And we're going to place the right sole of the foot on the left ankle. As we breathe in, we're going to slide that right foot up the left leg, lifting the right knee up towards the armpit as high as you can. And then we stretch the right leg out and lower. So inhale, we slide it up the left leg, stretch that right leg out and lower. 3 more of these, keeping the left leg very stable, left foot flexed. So you feel quite anchored through that left side. Shoulders relaxed. When you finish the 5, just draw that right knee in, give it a little hug. And still working with this right side, so take the arms out. We're going to draw some nice slow circles now with this right knee. And reversing. Good. And then draw that right knee and give it a hug. Now, if you have your strap or scarf close by, we're going to pop that now around the ball of the right foot. Otherwise, you'll interlace your hands behind the thigh or the calf. Some of you might be able to reach up to hold onto your right big toe. And the left leg can stay straight, or for a bit of extra support for the lower back, you step that left foot up close to the buttocks. So we're holding the stretch now, tucking the chin forward and connecting with our breath. Good. Okay, let's gently release that right leg down. Stretch both legs on the mat. You might give them a bit of a shake. Just drop the strap to the side. So let's do that same sequence on the other side now. So arms comfortable distance away from the body. Sole of the left foot now to your right ankle. And as we breathe in, we're sliding that left foot up the right leg. Knee up towards the armpit, stretching the leg out. And lower. So 4 more of these. When you finish that last one, just bring the left knee and give it a bit of a hug. And then we're going to, again, release the arms and make some nice slow circles with this left knee in the air. Right foot flexed. So again, we're anchored through that right side, stable through that side. Relaxing your arms, your shoulders, your hands. And reversing. Good. And then bring that left knee in, give it a hug. If you're using a strap or scarf, popping that now around the ball of the left foot, extending the left leg up. And option to bend that right leg. And hold. Connecting with our breath here. Good. All right, let's gently release any straps or scarves. Release that left leg down. Just stretch the legs again along the mat. Give them a bit of a shake. And we're going to step the feet up close to the buttocks and just do a couple of abdominal strengthening practices. You don't want to work with these if you're in the first or second day of your period. You might like to choose another gentler option. work a little bit more bridge or even just rocking from side to side. So first one, we're going to place the hands onto our thighs and we'll breathe in. And as we breathe out, we're going to lift up and exhale sort of in two short sort of gasps. So it's like, and then inhale, lower down. So you're breathing in through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth. Inhale, lower down. Let's try 3 more. Exhale, lifting up. Breathing in and breathing out. And last one. Good. And lower down. If you like, you can just tap the belly with your fingertips. If you want to try the second one, we're going to interlace the fingers under the head. Any neck issues, you might want to not do this as well. You might want to choose a gentler option. So with this one, we're going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, we're going to lift up and we're leaning over towards, so right elbow moving over towards our left knee. Inhale, we come back to center, we lower down. And exhale, lift up and left elbow moving over towards right knee. Inhale, let's try 2 more to each side. Exhale, so right elbow towards left knee. Inhale. Exhale. And 1 more to each side. When you finish, come back to center, draw the legs in, cross the feet or legs at your ankles, a hand on each knee. Let's make some little circles now on the floor with our lower backs. And cross the legs the other way, circling in the opposite direction. Good, and let's roll over to one side and we're going to come into extended child. So big toes touching, knees at least hip width apart, arms extending forward. And we're connecting here with our breath. Long, smooth inhalation. And long, smooth exhalation. So incorporating the full yoga breath here. You're welcome to stay as you are or lift your head up, walk the hands over to the left side. So hands can either stay shoulder width apart or you might choose to place the right palm on top of the left, but just try to drop that right shoulder. So we want to try and keep the upper back square. Just enjoying that opening through the right side of the torso. And then let's come back to center and we'll walk the hands around to the right side. So option to place left palm on top of right hand. Square off your shoulders and breathing into that left side of the torso. Good. And then come back to center. Let's now prepare to move into cat and then back into child. And if you'd like to join with me, we'll chant or So we'll do 5 of these. Let's exhale all breath. Breathing in as we come up into cat. So 4 more, inhale. Keep going. Last one. Take a resting breath. And then we'll work with our hippie cat. So we're going to come around to one side as we inhale, come forward and exhale around to the other side and back. So coming around to one side, forward to the other side and back. Let's do 3 more and then we'll reverse. Good. And then circling the opposite way 5 times. Good. And then when you finish, come to lie down onto your tummies. We're going to move straight into crocodile Makarasana. So feet are hip width or even mat width apart. Your palms are together. You're resting on your forearms. And I thought we might come back to that breathing practice we worked with at the beginning. So imagining now as we inhale that we're inhaling the fragrance of our favorite flower. Let that smell fill your lungs and then blowing the breath out slowly through the mouth as though there's a candle in front of you, but you're not wanting to disturb the flame. Inhaling the fragrance of your favorite flower. Let this smell fill your whole being. And then blowing the black breath out through the mouth slowly and smoothly. Continuing. can, another 3 or 4 breaths. But when you need to, you can push back into child pose. We're all going to meet there in a moment. Back into child. If the lower back feels a little bit tender, just making fists with the hands and giving a little bit of a rub. Otherwise, just being in your favourite version of child for a few breaths. All right, and then let's come up. I'm going to do a little bit of lunging. So any issues with the knees, just pop some support under the left knee to begin as we step that right leg forward. Hands will go onto our right thigh, shoulders back, lengthening up through the crown top. So a deep breath in. And as we exhale, just coming forward. Inhale back to center. And exhale forward. Two more. And then inhale, come back to center. This time we're going to, as we exhale, curl the right toes back towards us as we straighten that right leg. Now you might be interlacing your fingers on the right thigh and leaning forward like this. Some of you might be able to have your fingertips down on the mat. And we're holding this stretch. Good. And then come up, hands back onto your right thigh. Exhale, let's come forward. Now we're holding the lunge, either keeping the hands down or you might free your arms. And inhale, stretch the arms up. Looking forward or up if that's okay for your neck and you don't have high blood pressure. Breathing. Perhaps a gentle smile on your lips. Good, and then release the arms down, come back to center, and let's swap sides. So perhaps some support under your right knee, left leg forward, hands onto the thigh, inhale, and breathe back to center, and exhale. So 3 more. And then from here, we inhale and we curl the left toes back towards us. So either keeping the hands on your left thigh or reaching down for the floor. Holding the stretch. Good. And then come up and exhale back into our lunge. Option to stay here or release the arms and inhale. Breathe your arms above the head. Good. Release the hands down, back to center. Release that left leg. Take the arms forward. So we're back into extended child. A couple of breaths here. And then inhale up onto all fours. Tuck your toes. Down, face dog pose. So let's hold dog now. Do what feels good for you here. Might like to make a few yes and no movements with your head. Nice deep breathing. Now, if you like to challenge yourself a little bit and you don't have any wrist or shoulder issues, right hand can rest on your sacrum for a couple of breaths. And then lower the right hand and left hand on your sacrum. Couple of breaths. Lower it down. So feel free to come down into child at any point. Those of you who'd like to work with a bit of a stronger twist, the right hand can now go to the outside edge of the left lower leg or ankle if you can reach, and then you turn to the left. So you're looking under through the left armpit. We'll hold this for 2 or 3 breaths. Good, and then release the right hand back and let's swap it over. Left hand to the right leg or ankle, turning to the right. 2 or 3 breaths here. Left hand back, and then from here we're all going to walk our feet up towards our hands. Little halfway lift, so fingers onto your shins or onto the mat, and then lower down, legs bent or straight. And then inhale, let's come all the way up, taking the arms all the way above the head, palms together. And exhale down through your center. All right, let's do a little bit of bouncing. So feet hip width, little bend in the legs, and away we go. So we can imagine now that we're letting go of any worries, anything that's been worrying you lately, burdening you perhaps, anything that's been causing some anxiety, stress, tension. Just let this stuff drain down through the body into the earth beneath you. Lightening your load. And then just slow that movement down. We'll go straight into Kati Chakrasana. So make sure you're not going to bump into anything. And then just letting the arms swing around the body. And up to shoulder height. And above the head. Looking up, stretching up. And back to shoulder height. And back around the waist. Just letting everything slow down. Head comes back to center. Take a deep breath in. Slide away. Okay. Let's come back to our chant of Ah, Ooh, 5 rounds. So on your next inhalation, raising the arms above the head, bringing the fingertips to touch. Ah. 4 more. Inhale. Ah. Ah. Last one. Take a breath. And breathe your arms out to shoulder height. And let's tip over to the left side. Just a nice flowing movement. Inhale back to center. And exhale to the other side. Let's do 2 more to each side. When you finish, release the arms down by the side. Let's work with ragdoll, so feet can stay hip width or perhaps even come a bit wider. And we're going to come down very, very slowly. So deep breath in. And as we exhale, slowly tucking the chin. And rolling down. Shoulders start to creep forward. Arms flop forward. Allowing gravity to draw you down. Legs can be bent or straight. Don't feel you have to come to your maximum. And you might like to sway a little bit from side to side. And then slowly and carefully come up. So any lower back issues, bend the legs as you come up. Draw the belly in towards the spine to support the lower back. When you're upright, roll the shoulders down the back and take a resting breath. Let's come to the fronts of our mats. We're going to go through a couple of rounds of Chandra Namaskara, salute to the moon. If you're really low in energy or not up to this, you might sit and visualize yourself doing the practice. We'll do something a bit gentler. So standing into Tadasana, hands together in prayer position. Exhale all breath. And breathing in. Inhale. And coming forward. Legs bent or straight. Left leg goes back. And then we lower the left knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, crescent moon pose. Exhale down. We're coming to the plank. No breath in the body here as we lower into the eight-pointed position. Inhale, come through into cobra. And then back into dog. Left leg forward. Lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale, step the right leg forward back into Uttanasana. Inhale, come up. Palms together. Exhale. Straight onto the other side. Breathing in. Breathing out. And folding forward. This time we step the right leg back. Untuck the toes. Inhale, crescent moon. Exhale into plank. No breath in the body. Eight-pointed position. Scoop through into Bhujangasana. Back into dog. Right leg forward. And arms up. Left leg forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, come up. Okay, so two more. Left leg back. Ardha Chandrasana. Into plank. Pointed position. Bhujangasana. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Down face dog pose. Left leg forward. And right leg forward. Okay, last one without my voice. When you finish, rest the hands at the heart space. You might like to sigh the breath away. Gently release. So we're going to come down to sit, and I invite you at this point to choose your favourite forward bend to practice now. So it might be child pose, it might be cross-legged coming forward, or Paschimottanasana, or legs wide coming forward. Many forward folds. So please choose your favourite. If you're working with an asymmetrical one, come forward perhaps 4 or 5 breaths, then come up, change your legs, and then fold forward again. So that if you're doing a symmetrical one, you just stay there for 8 to 10 breaths. You might, if you've got your strap and you're doing something like Paschimottanasana, you can pop the strap around the balls of the feet. Just folding forward as you exhale. So just starting to allow everything to quieten now, to slow down. Keeping connected with your breath. And remembering the beautiful phrase, which I've shared before, a bit of a favourite, by Corrie ten Boom, who says, "Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength." Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. So if you're working asymmetrically, you might about now come up, change, and fold forward again. It's just staying where you are, breathing. You've worked evenly, you've had enough, gently come up and just quietly now come into a comfortable seated position. You might be on a chair, kneeling, sitting as I am, cross-legged or with the legs stretched out. You might have some support underneath you. You may have your hands in a favourite mudra position. If you're not sure, perhaps bringing the tips of the index fingers and thumbs to touch. So we're just going to sit for a few minutes and work with a breathing practice, which is also considered a dharana practice. Dharana is the 6th limb of yoga, according to Patanjali. It can be translated as concentration. So this is the step before we move into meditation, dhyana. So this practice involves counting the breath from 1 up towards 108. So we've only got a few minutes. We're not going to get to that number, but we can start. But the trick with this practice is when we're counting, if we get distracted and we forget what number we're up to, we go back to 1 and start again. So each inhale and exhale is 1 count. So let's begin. You're comfortable, the eyes are closed, shoulders soft. As you breathe in and breathe out, you count 1. Just continuing in your own time with your own breath. Let's leave this practice. Bring the hands into your lap. We'll work with Prana Mudra 3 times. And as we exhale, we'll chant Ah, U, So just exhale all breath to begin. Breathing in, take the hands up through the center and then out to the side. We'll come to lie down just for a very short relaxation, or if you prefer, you can stay seated, but otherwise just come now to lie down. Make sure that you're warm. Come up closer to you. So as you sit or lie, just noticing how you feel now, physically, mentally, emotionally, as you allow your spine to lengthen, your collarbones to spread wide, your shoulders to drop down away from your ears. Giving yourself permission now to let go, let go, let go. While you're resting, I'd like to share Mary Oliver's poem with you again. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing and gave it up. and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. So feel free to remain lying down if you're happy here and you have the time and space. Otherwise, I invite you now to just start to deepen the breath, becoming aware once more of your physical surroundings, where you are, deepening the breath and bringing some movement into your fingers and toes. Might like to have a bit of a stretch. And then quietly rolling over to one side and coming up to sit. So let's close our practice together this morning with 3 Oms, and we'll chant it the way we have been doing it this morning, so breaking it into the 3 syllables. There is a 4th component of Om, which is considered the silence after Om. So we have Ah, U, and then just as important, it's believed, is that silence. That's the 4th part. So we'll try to allow a little gap before we start the next Om. So three rounds. Hands into prayer. Exhale all breath. Breathing in. Namaste. Thank you for joining me this morning. Enjoy the rest of this day. I think there's some blue sky outside. Oh, hopefully where you are too. Lots of love, and see you soon. Bye.